Is Solana a good investment? Is Solana going to be making it through this bear market? Should I cut my losses or be buying the dip? All very adequate questions, suitable for any cryptocurrency which happens to be down 90% from its all-time high. Questions that those investors and I came together to try and figure out for ourselves. After all, it is our individual money which we are either choosing to invest into or not invest into Solana. The following is our attempt to answer some of those questions. I hope you enjoy it. Is Solana a scam? Is Solana worth an investment from us? Our hard-earned money, should it be put into Solana? My rationale for why I would like to buy it is that I want to make money, right? It's an investment, I want to make money. Why do people have to buy Solana? You have to buy Solana because you use it for your gas fees. If you want to interact on the network, you have to burn some Solana, some Sol, in every transaction. Plus, everything that is transacted on the network is denominated in Sol. So you need to own some if you want to participate. Why would you like to participate? Because it has really quick transaction throughput and it's very cheap to be on the network. What does Solana's blockchain aim to solve? This is directly from the CEO of Solana Foundation. What's his name? Anatoly. He was saying that they're trying to remove the idea that you can have arbitrage plays through price action and when news breaks. If you have a block time that is 400 milliseconds and after the block closes it only takes 5 milliseconds for every single person on the network to know what was inside that block, you can react even quicker. Or I guess the AIs and the machines can react even quicker. That was the entire point. So it had really low fees and really quick transaction throughput. This led to a lot of retail users wanting to build on top of it, especially for the low fees, because then you can trade your NFTs, which is a lot of what Solana is right now, is NFTs, very, very quickly, you know? Popular collections for NFTs, we have Ute, we have DGods, we have Tayo Pilots, we have DGods again, we have ABC, Claynosaurs, Dualbots. I've limited this crypto checklist to who, what, when, where, why, and how. Easy to remember, and I came up with 2 questions per. We've gone over all of them. Who made Solana? Anatoly Yakovenko. He's one of the co-founders of Sol. He has a very technology-based background specific to hardware, but he's also a pretty intensive software engineer. Thumbs up from me. Who needs Solana? Any organization that wants fast transactions of monetary data, generally exchanges. Their claim to fame is that a block is 400 milliseconds, and after the block has closed, the entire network knows about it within 5 milliseconds. What does it solve? Arbitrage in monetary system. What are the tokenomics? Fully diluted market cap right now of 11 billion with the current market cap of 7 billion. Initial inflation rate of 8, minus 15% every year. I'm curious if SolScan has tokenomics publicly displayed. I want to see, after the FTX drama, who's the next biggest holder and are they going to go bankrupt and cause another massive sell-off? Top 100 richest Solana addresses. We have the number 1 address for Sol sitting at 9.48 million Sol, which is 1.85% of the supply. Then we have one sitting at 8.7 million Sol, which is 1.7%. Everything else is sub 1%. The top address is recently become the top address. With the last 7 days, they added 6 million Sol. Alright, so this is actually nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. Especially given the initial distribution, I really expected the supply to be concentrated in a couple wallets, but it looks like it's pretty well distributed. Okay, back to our checklist. They have a 500 million supply initially, which increases 8% yearly, minus 15% of that 8% every year. The initial distribution, again, was not bad. 30 validators control over 33% of the stake. Right here we have Sol allocation, 20% to, this is initially, 20% to the foundation, 25% to seed sales, 20% to founding sales, 20% to the team, public auction sale 2.6%, strategic sale 3%, and validator sale 8.2%. So I had initially wrote it down somewhere, but it was like 84% of the tokens were held by either VCs, early investors, or the foundation, or people who worked for Sol. I didn't like that at all. That's set up. I don't know the updated, so that's something we need to look into going forward before you're able to make an investment, but that's set up for the massive crash that we recently had. When FTX went under, they had to liquidate everything, and as one of the largest investors in Solana's network, they had a lot of the tokens. That's why we look at stuff like this. You know that is a red flag if you go into a cryptocurrency as an investment and you see some token distribution like that. You know there's a good chance at some point there will be a massive dump because one of those people sells. Hopefully, FTX was the only one that happens, but we'll see. When and where, I pretty much just removed entirely because when was it made? I don't care. When will it be implemented? Again, I don't really care. It looks like it's implemented at this current moment. And where does it fit in? I had already answered that in one of the previous ones. So then we have, why is it a security? To do this, we're just gonna look at the Howey test. Now, this is somewhat subjective, right? Otherwise, something like XRP wouldn't be continuously in a lawsuit with the SEC. If it was clear as day if something's a security or not, you wouldn't have a 4-year lawsuit, a 3-year lawsuit going on. This is directly from Investopedia. The Howey test determines what qualifies as an investment contract and would therefore be subject to the US securities laws. An investment contract exists if there's an investment of money in a common enterprise with a reliable expectation of profits to be derived from the efforts of others. Keep that in mind. The Howey test is important for situating blockchain and digital currency projects with investors and project bankers. Certain cryptocurrencies and ICOs may be found to deem the definition of an investment contract under the Howey test. If you are investing into something with the expectation that someone else's effort is going to yield you money, it's likely a security. Also, I guess I should add that it has to be in the US. It has to be under the SEC's jurisdiction. In my opinion, I would argue with Solana that you are, with a reasonable amount of expectation, hoping that the founders of Solana, the Sol Foundation, is able to make enough partnerships that your money that you've invested into the Sol token goes up. If they can onboard as many institutions and governments as possible onto Sol's network, Solana's network, then hopefully demand for the token goes up, and as long as that goes up quicker than the supply is increasing, you will make money. That's the expectation when you go into Solana as an investment. What would potentially change this is if they were fully decentralized. And this is directly from Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC. If something is decentralized, like Bitcoin, where there is no governing body that you are relying on, then it's not a security. It is a commodity. He's also said this for Ethereum before it became proof of stake, when it was still proof of work. They deemed it as a decentralized commodity, so it was not a security. His clarification is if you're relying on other people to make a profit. I would argue with Solana, you are relying on other people to make a profit. My evidence kind of goes to the fact that for governance, most of Solana's governance, it's a hybrid model right now. The Solana Foundation has a majority of votes for Solana governance, and people can vote in different voting periods for what the network is going to do and how it's going to move forward. But you're like, if they get to make the major decisions, then you're relying on their decisions being accurate for your investment to flourish. So that right there is a huge red flag for me. It doesn't necessarily mean that Solana is not investable, because I invest in securities all the time, stocks. It just means that they are likely going to experience a lot of headache in the near future when we see regulations coming in. Same thing was for Quant. What prevents Quant from likely being deemed as a security by the SEC is that when they did their ICO, their initial coin offering, they excluded all US-based investors, which means the SEC has no real jurisdiction, and foreign governing bodies have deemed it a utility token, not a security. And again, we're making assumptions here because we don't know definitively how the SEC is going to regulate this stuff, right? Thank you so much for being here with me, you guys. Your time is your most valuable asset, so I hope you felt this was a worthy investment. I will see you guys, those investors, in the next video.